All right. What's up, everybody? So look, man, let's get right into it, bro. I'm not gonna try to make this video too long, but I know I've been gone, but I'm coming back, bro, and I'm gonna try to run through a lot of things that are going on in the boxing world. Let's get right into it, right? Let's start off with this, the hottest topic at hand, Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. The deal was done, and now supposedly it's off. You got Devin Haney coming out here saying that Teofimo ducked him, right? And I don't know what happened. Of course, somebody like me, with Devin Haney being the bullshitter that he is, just a fake ass person that he is, it's hard for somebody like me to believe what he says, right? When you just see this guy's whole team is just full of lies and just a bunch of bullshit, right? So I'm not just gonna come up just off the rip, just believe whatever Devin Haney is saying, right? Now, as far as Teofimo supposedly pulling out of the fight, I don't know what's going on, bro. I've seen that he's saying something that he doesn't want to fight over there in Saudi, and that he says that Devin Haney's just gonna run all night long and pretty much win by decision, right? Which I do not blame Teo for thinking this shit, right? Of course you gotta think this shit. Of course you gotta think that you're not gonna get, a first shake over there in Saudi, as they highly favor Devin Haney, and it seems like Teofimo got into some kind of beef, talking shit to Turkey, to where he even came out and apologized. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird that this fight is off, man. When this fight happened, I was happy, bro. I was like, hell yeah, Teo, this is what you had to do, bro, because Teofimo would put Devin Haney's lights out, man. Trust me on this shit. And this is why it's kind of, I have mixed feelings about this shit, right? Because at the same time, I kind of feel where Teofimo was coming from, right? Like, why would you take a fight with Devin Haney when you know damn well that he's gonna run all night? He's gonna be his boring usual self. And not just that, you're gonna be fighting a motherfucking, what is he, probably like a middleweight, shrunken down to welterweight or whatever. We all saw the picture with, you got Devin Haney out there, went to go visit Benavidez at the boxer gym. And I don't know if you guys seen those pictures with Devin Haney standing next to David Benavidez, and you actually see how huge Devin Haney is, bro. This guy's big as fuck, sucking himself down. And that's no secret. Of course, he's been doing this all his career. But, this is why I kind of say I don't really blame Teofimo too much for not wanting to fight Devin Haney with all of that against him. Plus, he's going to be running, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not letting Teofimo off the hook, man. You should still take this damn fight, bro. Teofimo, I think he would get the job done against Devin Haney easily, man. Regardless of all of that shit, bro. Regardless of the size difference. And with Devin Haney pretty much going in there trying to survive. We all know that Devin Haney right now, he's a broken shell of himself, right? This guy has no confidence. It showed in his last fight to where he pretty much just ran the entire fight, bro. Like, literally, no boxing, just running and shit, you know what I'm saying? Throwing low-ass fucking, not even punching, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I say I do not know why Teofimo wouldn't want to come out here and just take out Devin Haney, bro, and just, do that favor to the boxing fans, right? Come out here and just take out Devin Haney once and for all. This is why I'm not letting Teofimo off the hook. If Teofimo did back, if it is true that he backed down from this fight, man, I really don't want to hear no excuses, bro. I think it's time for these guys to start fighting each other, man. All of these guys that came up in that 130 era, the Four Kings, whatever, you know what I'm saying? These guys need to start fighting each other, bro. Because all of these guys, they've been fucking ducking and dodging each other. And then when they fight against each other, bro, they're fucking fighting at catch weights, and it's always some bullshit. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna give no excuses for Teofimo not taking this fight, bro. Fuck all the money shit, all of that other whatever might be in the way. You having to go to Saudi and fight, it might not be fair for you, or whatever, man. You should still take this damn fight, bro. Because I realistically do think that Teofimo is on another level than Devin Haney. And even though he's got all of that shit against him, I think Teofimo will still beat Devin Haney, man. So, we'll see what else happens. I'm sure we're going to get more information that really, to where we're really going to know what happened, why this fight fell apart. But like I said, I'm not believing anything that Devin Haney is saying just because he's coming out here talking all that nonsense. Devin Haney, Bill Haney, these guys are fucking notorious liars, bro. So somebody like me, I'm not going to believe him right off the rip, right? So yeah, man, there goes that topic, right? Now moving on. Let's talk about Jaime Munguia and his failed fucking test, right? He tested positive for testosterone, right? Um, is it a coincidence that he joined the Reynoso camp and he popped dirty? Is that a coincidence, bro? Do you guys really think that this shit is a coincidence, man? How many fights does Jaime Munguia have to where he's been clean through all of those fucking fights, and then out of nowhere he joins the Eddie Reynoso camp and pops dirty, where those guys have a fucking history of dirty fighters, you know what I'm saying? Starting with the biggest name of them all, Canelo, where he popped dirty for clenbuterol and blamed it on the taco truck, and a bunch of fucking idiots believed him, right? Which is crazy as hell, because that fucking excuse and that lie has gotten debunked so much already. That excuse by Canelo, it was some bullshit, bro. And I know people are gonna believe it just because they love Canelo, you know what I'm saying? But people with logic, you're gonna know that no, bro, it wasn't no, because he wasn't eating no fucking taco truck. He popped dirty going into the rematch against Triple G, you know what I'm saying? His hardest fights, to where he got a tie, and he felt like he needed that little extra shit to get him over the hill, right? So yeah, with fucking Jaime Munguia popping dirty, to me it's not a coincidence, bro. It's just like the information is right there. All you gotta do is just piece it together. But some people just don't want to piece it together. It doesn't matter how obvious the shit is. There's just people that are never gonna want to piece it together because it goes against their favorite fighters and their favorite camp and their favorite team and all that shit. They live in a fantasy world, to where other people, they like to live in the real world and really see what's happening, So I don't know what happened with Jaime Munguia, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get more information coming out of this shit, but it is really sketchy, bro, and you cannot say that it is not sketchy that he joined that fucking Eddie Reynoso camp and he popped dirty, when you got a history of, I don't know, it's probably been like 5 or 6 fighters from Eddie Reynoso's camp that have popped dirty, right? So that's pretty tripped out, man. What else is going on? Man, we have Keyshawn Davis versus De Los Santos this weekend, right? This is going to be a good fight, man. I got to see the weigh-in once again. Like I had told y'all in the last Keyshawn Davis fight, he looked extremely good, but he was fucking huge, bro. I'm trying to figure out if Keyshawn Davis really is that talented or if he's just another Devin Haney 2.0. You guys keep an eye out at the weigh-in and compare the size between these two guys. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to pick. I don't know, bro. I'm thinking Keyshawn Davis should take this shit, even though I know De Los Santos is a very underrated fighter with dynamite in his hands, bro. This guy's got crazy punching power. But I got to see the weigh-in, bro, so I can make my pick. Off the top of my head, I do got to rock with Keyshawn Davis. Even though I kind of want to say that De Los Santos might get him, but I got to see the weigh-in to see what Keyshawn Davis is looking like, right? To see, if this guy really is the next Devin Haney, weight bullying all these fucking small fighters, And yes, we could see that shit at the weigh-in. You got to compare these guys' size and all that shit, But regardless of all that shit, bro, it should be a good fight. Keyshawn Davis does have a lot of good qualities to his boxing game, and he's gonna be going up against, I'm thinking, maybe one of the hardest punchers that he's had to go up against. And De Los Santos, he's kind of slick, bro. He's got some decent boxing skill, so it should be a good fight, man. But I'm pretty much gonna leave it right there, bro. I'm not gonna make this video too long, but I'm gonna try to be back on here more consistently again, bro. I've gotten away from the YouTube, but I'll be back and I'll be dropping more videos, man. You guys make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment, and that's it for me. I'll be on to the next one. I'm out.